I want to talk about something today that is not lost, I'll say, but is perhaps maybe underappreciated in some younger lifters, trainers, whatever the case may be. That's the value of doing lots and lots and lots of base building with sub-maximal work and testing only occasionally. So really it's the distinction between builders and testers. Now, this doesn't just apply to strength, it applies to conditioning, it applies to skill work. I mean, really you can even apply it to things like mathematics, language learning, anything. But for this discussion, we'll keep it in the context of the gym. What brought this to mind was I kind of hit a milestone this week, being week 121, or the end of week 121, where I managed to do 6 30K bikes back to back, and all of them but one were under 59 minutes, my standard being 60 minutes, and only one was just slightly over 59 minutes. Now, that probably doesn't mean anything to you, but that's a huge significance to me looking at my training records, because 2.5 years ago when I started doing this bike thing exclusively, I was originally trying to get to 20K in 50 minutes, with 25 in 52 being the tester. In other words, 20 and 50 was relatively, not easy, but I could accomplish it day to day, whereas to get 25 and 52 was a Herculean effort at the time. Then 25 and 52 became the standard for base building, and then 30 in under an hour became a Herculean effort. And so what I'm saying is, after now, close to 3 years of base building, 30K seems to be the day-to-day. So now I got to figure out a new tester. But all that to say is that if I had just started out with the intent to, I'm going to do 30K every day, well, I can tell you right now, I would probably have ended up hurting myself, probably pulled a quad, because even attempting some of the 25Ks a year and a half ago were potentially injurious with the amount of resistance I have on the bike. And I can't tell you how many days there were, and are still, where I'll hit a PR, and not only am I super stoked for the PR, but I think to myself like, oh man, okay, well if I did that today, I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to do that again tomorrow. And that thinking in the past got younger me many times either injured or detrained, like I went backwards. To the point where I have a rule now, basically, where if I hit a PR on the bike, then the next 2 or 3 days, I won't do the bike. I'll intentionally skip the bike and do the step mill. Why? Because I understand how biology works, and I know that it is highly unlikely, without the perfect storm of physiological and environmental factors, that I will be able to hit 2 PRs back to back. Now, it does happen every once in a while, but it's foolish to attempt because it's unreliable. What is reliable is to cultivate the training stimulus from that PR by adding in a little bit of extra recovery because you pushed yourself a lot harder than you normally would, and then look at your training and reverse engineer the amount of volume, the specific exercises, the rest periods, the recovery, the nutrition, all the things that led up to you getting that PR in the first place. That's where the real value is, not necessarily in the PR itself, but in the methods. What repeated sub-maximal efforts led to you getting to this new capacity in the first place? Because here's the thing, folks, when you're young and healthy, you can PR day after day after day after day for a meaningful period of time, or at least come close. In other words, you can redline your training for quite some time because your ability to recover is a lot greater. But when you get hurt, or when you get older, or when you get hurt and older, the problem with testing for training and not learning how to use frequent sub-maximal efforts to build your base is that when you can't test anymore, you have nowhere else to go. The real value of determining your builders and doing frequent sub-maximal work and infrequent testing is that after injuries, layoff, or if you become a coach or a trainer yourself, now you have a course, you have a method of procedure to get you back to those maximal efforts once again, and hopefully past them. Proximal thinking when it comes to training is a monkey's paw. Develop long-term strategies for sustainability so you can stay in the fight. Thanks for watching.